Hello and welcome to the Monday Morning Marketing Podcast. I'm Esther.
And I'm Melanie.
And today we're talking about competitor analysis, how to perform a competitive analysis against your competitors. So let's break it down. First of all, who are your competitors?
Well, anybody who does stuff like you do.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So it can be exactly the same or really similar. So, I mean, Melanie and I could be classed as competitors in some areas, not in all areas, because she does things that we don't do and we do things that she doesn't do. But instead of competing, Melanie and I have decided to collaborate, which is always a good idea. But if we were to be competitive, Melanie and I, we would need to start looking at a few things. First of all, we'd have to identify our competitors. So when you identify, you could go online to do this. You could go to your local chamber of commerce. You could go just to the yellow pages, golden pages, whatever they're called. And you could just search through basically a simple Google search of what your main keyword is. So if you sell jewelry, then you would want to put in jewelry makers or jewelry sellers near me. And that expression of near me, then that narrows it down to your local area.
I've also got a suggestion. Over here in the Republic, there'll be ones wherever you're based as well, where there's you can register company names, and you can also do a search through registered business names and also the types of business they are. You can do a search there as well.
And is that costly?
No, that's free.
That?
That's free.
That's free.
You can do the search for free. It's only if you want to get further information that you may.
Yeah, because basically, we all know that everybody's information is a free for all on the internet these days. Even what the government has on you, you're allowed to do that. So identify who your competitors are, how close they are to you, what they're actually selling, how they're selling it, and basically, if your next door neighbor is doing exactly the same as you, maybe think of doing something slightly different.
And sometimes having an understanding of the type of presence that they have online gives you an understanding of the type of people they're targeting as well. If you find that they're targeting all of their promotion, all of their reach on maybe one or two particular types of channels, it also helps you understand the type of audience they're trying to go for as well.
Yeah, and it might be exactly the same audience that you would be going for. So take a look and see what's working for them. Do not copy them. Do not copy them. Okay, can I repeat that a third time? Do not copy them. Everybody has their own unique selling point, which is themselves, which is your way of speaking, your way of photographing your goods. If you sell physical products, everybody is different, so do not copy.
Yeah, but this is the problem, okay? Because sometimes you don't appreciate that you are doing an awful lot similar to them. So how do you avoid copying people when there's only so many things you can do with your business?
Well, we're going back a few years now. Whenever we first started, there were people who were literally copying our photographs and saving our images and reusing them in their own marketing.
Bad form.
Yeah. So, that's what I mean by do not copy. Take your own photographs, take your own, make your own images, use Canva if you need to, but do it yourself, put your own mark on it. Yes, you might be, it might be an MLM, multi-level marketing, and you all have exactly the same products to sell and you all have exactly the same sales pitch to use, but you can always find a way to put your own spin on it.
Yeah. I guess the other thing is that something I've spotted over the years, quite genuinely, is some people will say, "Oh, I wish you could do this as well." As you can see in online reviews, you can see, "Oh, I wish you could incorporate this or add this," or "I'm so pleased that you've done this, and this is part and parcel of your offering." Let's say, so actual online reviews can help you better appreciate the good things and and the bad things that your competitors are doing or not doing as well.
Yeah, and if there are people, saying some bad things about them, then that can give you a boost to go, okay, I'll do that differently. I'll do that aspect, getting back to, maybe you're making candles and people say, oh, I'd prefer if it had 2 wicks in the candles or 3 wicks. Make candles with 3 wicks in them then, like longer lasting burning wicks, There's so many things. But then how many people actually go online and review? That's the other thing. You have to be very
Yeah.
careful. It could just be a very small percentage of people who are going on.
And people only tend to feel compelled doing reviews when they've got something negative to say. Is that
That's so true. So true.
yeah,
it's, and even then sometimes they get mistaken by the business. They think it was your business, but it was actually somebody else's name, but it's very similar, and they find you online and not the other people, and you're sort of going, I never sold to this person. I've got a review
on my Facebook page actually that's nothing to do with social media or marketing at all. I have no idea why it's there. It's still a very good review, but it's nothing to do with my business.
That's why you kept it.
Well, you can't remove it on Facebook, can you?
No.
Unless you remove the whole thing. And to this day, I still don't know why it's there.
Yeah. I mean, well, I've been watching a few videos on TikTok and going down the rabbit hole. And there's this girl who's local-ish to me, she's here in Northern Ireland. And she was saying that she got some really bad reviews and people were complaining about her product.
Wow.
And then she realized it wasn't her product. She asked them for photographs of the product and it was a totally different brand. And people just, like I said, they just jump on the first thing they see and go, yeah, your product is rubbish. And people are going, no, I don't think I ever sold to you. But anyway, how about if you could talk to your competitors' customers?
How hard would that be, though?
It depends on the industry you're in, I think. I mean, like there's a lot of agricultural shows that are on.
Touche, yeah.
Right? So, like Farmer's Daughter here, FYI, in case I haven't mentioned this before, but agricultural shows were something that I grew up with. So when you're at an agricultural show, you have all the big brands that are there on the day. They're showing their stock or they're showing their tractors. And so all the customers are generally there too. So obviously, if you can get them to come to your stand and talk to you, then you can find out why they prefer or why they've bought from the other guy and find out what they don't like about the other guy, but maybe they're just, buying from them out of loyalty. I mean, this would be for big, huge ticket items, like obviously, smaller ticket items, people don't seem to be as loyal anymore these days. But when you're talking a big ticket item like a tractor, like I know in my family, the farm has only ever had one type of tractor on it. My mum and dad have only ever driven one model of car, one brand of car as well. So, I mean, they got into their customer loyalty from a very young age and they've stuck with them. Why? I don't know.
I bet the devil you know than the devil you don't.
Could be.
And, there's something we've actually talked about before, but we've kind of only ever touched on it. And that is like a SWOT. Identifying
you are a SWOT, yes. Oh no, yeah, sorry, you mean strengths and weaknesses and opportunities and threats SWOT.
Yeah, that's the one. So once you've done all this other previous work, then identify not just your own strengths and weaknesses, but their strengths and weaknesses. Do they have excellent follow-up? Do they have an email list that they can continue the relationship on? Are they responding frequently and actively to any queries or questions that's coming up on their page? Maybe their strengths are they're really, really good at doing visual content. Or maybe they're happy to go live more frequently than perhaps you would be prepared to, that sort of thing. And
definitely more than I'm prepared
to. I don't know where I got that idea from. So have a look at not just your own strengths and weaknesses, but their strengths and weaknesses as well. Because I mean, we're all ready to criticize our competitors all the time, but there'll be some stuff that they're going to be much better at than you as well. And,
definitely.
And having a rounder picture of why they're better at it. Maybe they've got a larger team, so they can afford better trained staff or something along those lines, and try and work out, where you can sort of pull and push on what you have and what they have at the same time. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who has signed up for a competitor's mailing list.
No.
Maybe using a different email address than my work one,
Hmm.
but definitely have signed up just to see what they're doing, not to copy what they're
No.
selling or anything, just to see how frequently they send out emails, what they would sort of say in their emails, and just to see, like you say, what's working for them. Like what would attract me to buy from them? What would resonate with my audience as well out of what they're saying, or how could I repurpose or rejig this and make it useful for my audience? Because at the end of the day, I mean, especially the industry that you and I are in, Melanie, there isn't a lot of things that we can do differently.
Honestly, no.
Because the rules for Facebook and all the social media platforms are the same whether you're using it or whether I'm using it. So there's not a lot of different things that we can do or even say, but the way that we say it or the way that we can present it to our audience is where we need to be.
Well, that's our USP,
out.
Isn't it? That's what makes us stand out.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I mean, there's so many places that you can go and look for these things and research these things. Obviously, like you can't just turn around and ask someone, oh, what's your open rate? What's your email open rate? And how many people respond? And it's really bad form to just rock up to another person in your industry and go, right, so I'm conducting a competitor analysis and I would really like to know how quickly you respond to emails and how quickly you send out your stuff. Sometimes it's not something that obviously it's going to be like, they're not going to want to tell you directly, but maybe if you ordered something from them, you could see for yourself. Do a bit of research, do a bit of, get someone else to phone them and say, hey, just wondering,
But there are tools that you can use as well.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's, I mean, you may not be as comfortable as us, doing all of that. So there are tools that you can use, and some of them are very, very well known, like SEMrush and BuzzSumo, and then ones that are less known, like SpyFu. Now, I've only come across that today in the research we were conducting today, and Owl Letter. That's
I haven't heard of those two, but the first two,
No, SEMrush and BuzzSumo, and they would be industry known. But this research brings it across. Information available and tools available from the US as well, and as we know, our audience is over there as well.
Absolutely, and I mean, the world is so small. Especially post-pandemic, people just went all online and now realize they can order from anywhere in the world and get it, especially if it is a service. Your service-based business does not have to be just confined to your local area.
No.
If you're not comfortable exporting your products with a physical product, then that's something that you'd have to look into yourself. But as for services, there is no limit. No. Well, maybe language barriers would be your only limit there.
Unless it's you, of course, because you know more than one language.
Yeah.
Show off.
Yeah, I know 2 of the top 3 languages in the world. So it comes in handy whenever you can, open yourself up to more markets. But guys, at the end of the day, I mean, a lot of people think that a competitor analysis is just for when you're starting out and you're trying to name your business and you're trying to see what other people are doing. It's not. I mean, here at IPA Group, we have rebranded a number of times and we have looked at our competitors and looked to see what's working and what's not in terms of, color analysis and stuff. But it is a good thing to do every couple of years.
Agreed.
And just to see.
I've done it every 2 years.
Yeah. Because things do move along so quickly, especially in the social media world. But if you're using social media as one of your main tools, which, should be one of your main parts of, or should be a part of your marketing, then you should really be looking and seeing what other people are doing, because social media moves really quickly. What worked last month might not work next month. So I'm not saying that you have to do this monthly, but do it every couple of years anyway. Okay. And if you have any questions or if you'd like to know anything more, we are always available and love a good natter.
Do you remember we used to ask the oracle? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Can't do that anymore.
No.
Now you just Google it.
Ask the public.
Now you just Google it, don't you?
There is Ask the Public, though.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Ask the Public. Is that what? .com?
I want to say yes. Just Google it. Just Google Ask the Public and it'll come up whether it's .com or .co.uk. But seriously, guys, just get out there. Do a bit of fun research. Don't get dragged down into the boring stuff, and see what's working for both you and your competitors. And we'll be back next week with more Monday Morning Marketing. Until then, bye-bye.